everybody, today I'm going to be informing you guys on how to stretch your ears and what not to do while stretching your ears. I have stretched my ears ever since I was about 14 or 15, and now I'm 16, about to turn 17, and I've had stretched ears for about 2 years, maybe a year and a half, but I love stretched ears. I love the way they look, I love the statement they make, but I don't like the stereotypes that people put out when people have stretched ears or body modifications, but that's a whole different video, so I'm not going to get into that. But this video is all about you guys and all about all of you who want to stretch your ears or who are planning to stretch your ears and the proper way to do it. I'm going to be breaking up this video in 5 different steps. I'll leave the times in the description below on which step I'm going to be talking about. But I hope you guys enjoy, and let's get on with step number 1. Step number 1 is determining what size to start with and size charts. When you pierce your ear, they generally will pierce your ear at an 18 gauge. And what I mean by this is that there are different gauges when you pierce your ear, which is the size that they are. And it can go from a 20 gauge all the way up to like 1 inches, 2 inches when stretching your ears. But typically when a piercer is piercing your ear, they will start with an 18 or maybe even a 16 gauge. But if you do not know, the safest route to go when stretching your ears is to start with a 16 gauge. That's what I started with. I started with a 16 and just worked my way up, all the way up from then. But if you do not have pierced ears and you are going to get your ears pierced or piercing your ears so you can stretch your ears, I would ask the piercer what gauge he's going to pierce your ear at and then work your way up from there. I will post a size chart to give you a reference. You're going to want to get either a set or tapers and then the jewelry that you need. But what I started out with, I got the Bod FX kit. It was a 32-piece kit. It came with steel tapers or titanium tapers, what I forget, and it came with from a 14 gauge to a 00 gauge tapers and single flared plugs. I highly recommend this kit because it's fairly cheap. I'll leave the description down below and I will get more into that later. Step number 2. Using tapers the correct way. So for those of you who do not know what a taper is this long thing that's thicker at the top and kind of fades out in the bottom. And this end is what goes into your ear first, and then the final gauge you will be at will be near this portion. So what a lot of people do not understand and what a lot of people misinterpret is that you can use tapers as jewelry, but that's not the case. The purpose of a taper is to stretch your ear to the size that you want, and what you're supposed to do after that is put in the correct jewelry, whatever jewelry that you would like, and then leave that in until it heals, and then use a taper again to stretch your ear to the size that you want. There are many styles and types of tapers that you can get. There are curved, there's spiral, there's buffalo, there's straight, but this is a straight taper, and this is what I highly recommend for when you are stretching your ears. Using plugs. Step number 3. You really want to use plugs, or there's also different types of jewelry, and I will get into that in step number 4, but since we're in step number 3, you always want to use plugs or single flared or something other than a taper to go inside your ear once you stretch it. Step number 4. Different types of jewelry. There are so many types of jewelry that are out there for stretched ears. There are double flared plugs, there are single flared plugs, and so many different things. But when you are first stretching your ears, I would highly recommend the single flared plugs to put inside of your ears when you stretch them, because it's so much easier. And in the kit that I have, they come with both tapers and single flared plugs. You would say this is your ear. You would put in the taper, bam, it's in your ear. Then you would get the single flared. You're going to want to push in the jewelry while you're pushing out the taper, and then the jewelry would stay in your ear for however long it takes for your ears to heal. Everyone's ears are different. My ears generally take about 2 to 3 weeks for them to fully heal and for me to go on to the next size. But for many people it is different. It could take a week, it could take a few days, it could take a few months, it can even take up to a year for your ears to fully heal. But it is super important to let your ears fully heal before you stretch to the next size, because that can lead to tearing your ears, having them bleed, cause blowouts, and a lot of extra stuff that you do not want to deal with. Step number 5, cleaning your ears. It is super important to clean your ears when you first stretch them, because you don't want them to get infected, you don't want them to get all nasty and all gunky with stuff. And that's another disclaimer to having stretched ears. When you have stretched ears, your jewelry is compressing your skin and dead skin cells build up, and that's what causes this ear funk that everyone talks about and everyone doesn't like. And it's super gross, and honestly it smells horrid. I hate it. And honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I don't clean my ears that often. I only clean them like once a day, but you're supposed to clean them about twice a day. And even in the beginning, when you are stretching your ears, you want to clean your ears before you stretch them every time, and you want to clean the tapers and the jewelry and whatever you're putting in your ear. You want to make sure it is always clean. So to clean them, you should use antibacterial soap, whether it be bar soap or liquid soap. Any of them will do. It just needs to be antibacterial and non-scented. Step number 5, lube your ears. I cannot stress enough how you need to lubricate your ears before you stretch them, and lube them up every day with a jojoba oil or tea tree oil or the stretching balm that I have. And it's a combination of multiple oils that I cannot pronounce. But either way, you need to lube up your ears with something. Except, I cannot stress this enough, petroleum jelly or A&D or whatever. You need to have the proper oil for your ears. And what I highly recommend is jojoba oil and tea tree oil and the stretching balm that I have. I will leave that also in the link down below so you guys can purchase it and do what you want with it. But it is always important to lube up your earlobes and the jewelry when you're stretching your ears. Because if you don't lube up your ears, it can cause tears and bleeds and blowouts and all that good stuff. So, that's pretty much it for stretching your ears. Just like the basics, like do's and don'ts. I hope you guys enjoy. I will be making a ear stretching journey soon for re-stretching my ears, and I will make a video of that soon once, you know, I'm done with all this. And yeah, I will see you guys later, and I hope you guys enjoyed.